Hi, it's Deanne. And today we're going to talk about what to do when your nervous system has just received a big blow or you've gone through a traumatic experience. It can be so easy to get overloaded in thinking like, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to get through the next few days or the next weeks? And the truth is, the more you can focus on moment by moment, the more you're going to get through. It's really common for your brain to continue to replay with images, sounds, even the sensations of what you were feeling then, like panic or a blow to your nervous system, helplessness, or feeling like you're in danger, your heart racing for seemingly no reason now that it's over. That's your body, the primitive part of your brain and your body off gassing in a sense. It's like trying to digest what has happened because it was too much at once. It's like if you brought your groceries home and ate them all at once, you'd have a big bellyache, right? Your brain is similar. It can't get through all of this stuff at once. So today's video is going to talk about how to help those waves of things that are coming through feel like you've at least got a boogie board or a paddle board or a kayak, but maybe even a boat to ride those waves so they can hit the shore. When we try to ignore it or push it aside, it's like standing, waist deep in the water and putting your hands up thinking you're going to stop those waves. We just aren't that powerful. So all of this can seem like it's just too much. Like your goal is so far away. Like, I just want to feel calm, or I just want to be able to orient myself to this moment and feel like it's over. But if we focus on the whole journey, it is too much. Two barriers that are really common in getting through something right away is one, just the current amount of chaos that you have in your life. So if you stay busy, that's kind of created chaos, but maybe you have a lot going on in your life right now, and that can make it even harder on your brain to process. And so, more necessary for you to do some really in sorry, intentional strategies to help your brain process. The other is if you've already got backlog. So, again, the grocery example, if you come home and your countertops are already covered, the fridge is already full, the table is already covered, it's going to be much harder for you to bring in, all that load of groceries and get things put away. And so just being aware of what you need and be careful to not judge yourself. We don't always know what we still have stored in there, and we don't know what others are going through or how much backlog they have. So try to be gentle on yourself and instead be proactive and really focus on creating an environment in your brain and body to just move this stuff through. So first, when you're having those replays, you want to change the experience. You don't want to replay it just the way it is. That in its purest form is a flashback. It's not helpful for your brain. So when you're getting those images or those sounds, black and white the scene, shrink it down like that it's on a little mini cell phone and that poor quality. Even imagine having your dog sit on your lap. Like, you know how dogs lean against you, or just a friend who comes up and gives you a bear hug. While that's playing out, try to imagine that happening at the same time. And it will help date stamp this in the primitive part of your brain. The primitive part of your brain, the fight, flight, freeze, it's not very advanced in sorting through information, so it won't know to do these things. It's like you can be its mentor. The other thing is that when you're feeling things in your body, you want to do some kind of sensory input. So say you feel your jaw really clenched, then get some ice chips and just crunch, crunch, crunch. Or if you feel it in your chest, like you're not breathing very well, then doing some cat-cow poses, if you know what those are. Or when you're in your car, just blah, and I won't do it loud here, but growl in a pillow, or just really from your gut and rumble your chest and let that come out. Or cry, just have big releases as much as you can. And if you're in places that you feel like you have to hold it in, do your best to, even like if you're sitting in a meeting, squeeze release your legs. or at least your feet, or get up and say, oh yeah, I'm just kind of stiff today, so that you can stretch and move. It's not helpful for this primitive part of your body to be completely still, because then there's no evidence in your body that it's not actually happening, and it'll keep you in that replay a bit longer. So animals shake off, right? Like you're a wet dog. If you can, like, go in the bathroom at work, shake off. Keep showing your nervous system that there's a now. It'll help date stamp everything. Another strategy is called bilateral stimulation, and I won't go into the mechanics of it, but it'll help your brain organize. It'll help put things away, like bringing those groceries home. If you just take one item at a time. So if you're playing that scene in your head, if that's what's there, then do some bilateral stimulation. I'm going to put a link in the description below to a random YouTube. I have no affiliation with this person, but if you put on a dual headset, you'll feel the sound swooshing back and forth. And you may even feel like your brain is going side to side. But this is actually good for your brain. It will help stimulate more of your brain so that it's not stuck on one particular loop. So it can have a similar impact to when you've talked something out with a friend, or you've slept on something or let a few days go by. It helps you bring other perspectives in. And so bilateral stimulation can make that happen more effectively for your brain. The other thing I'm going to put in the link in the description is to a course I have. It's called Find Calm in the Chaos, for people who just feel like it's just all too much and you want some guided practices. There's very little talk about theory. It's just all right into doing exercises with you, something called a calm place, more of the release and soothe, just ways to get your nervous system calmed down, and then all the way into some in-depth, just really trying to get the mind off that loop. Our brains haven't caught up with the amount of stimulation that we have in our world. So this is a really good time to, again, just bring it down to moment by moment and reduce stimulation. So hopefully that means less electronics. All those frames per second that TVs have, you're better off reading or engaging in a hobby. So when you're able to break it down step by step, all of a sudden you look up and your view is different. Like, oh, I've now gotten through the first day, or I've gotten through a few days, and it starts to feel more manageable. You start to feel a little more peace. It's not going to make everything go away, but it makes it a lot more doable. So one word of caution is, I'm making this video because you're not sitting in a therapist's office, and this is just things that are available right here, right now. But if you have a backlog of information, if you know you've got unprocessed trauma, if you've had a crappy childhood, if you're currently in toxic relationships at work or at home, it's going to be so much harder on your brain, and you really deserve support. Therapists are like race car drivers. There's all different levels. So you may want to seek out somebody who's trained in EMDR, who's meant to help process these, whether it's recent events or even the old stuff. And if you've got a lot more of that backlog, then look for somebody who specializes in complex trauma. You can get through this moment by moment, using the tools and getting support. You don't have to know how you're going to get to tomorrow. Just do right now.